Recently, I've been setting up a lot of ecosystem aquariums. Now, it's no secret that these have become my favourite type of tank. This right here is an ecosystem aquarium, set up quite a while ago. It's doing absolutely fantastic. Everything's thriving so well. Basically, I never do water changes on this. All I do is top the water up. It's been 10 months now without a water change. And so the goal with these aquariums is to set them up in such a way that you don't have to waste all your time with cleaning them. You still got to do maintenance, but it's the fun maintenance. It's like the trimming, that sort of thing, not just scrubbing and constantly changing water. Oh. But it's not just big aquariums. This one right here is a bowl with no filter at all. Well, apart from the plants. The plants are the filter, as is the substrate system below. And that, to be honest, is the absolute key. It's all about getting that substrate system sorted out. That does a lot of the filtration, keeps the water pure, and enables you just to enjoy the scape. But what I want to do today is build an ecosystem in this cube here. So it's a 30 centimeter by 30 centimeter. What is that in feet? 1 foot by 1 foot, something like that. Anyway, it's actually home at the moment to some epistogramma fry. Well, they're kind of edging on juveniles now. They're of a decent size that we can move into a main tank, which means I can just clear this out. It's not the nicest looking thing, but it did a really good job of bringing up these fry. There you go, look. Now, I've never done an ecosystem cube before, so I'm really looking forward to it. Let's get started. Right, I've caught all the baby epistogramma. I've got about 10 in here, and I was going to put them in that big tank, but they're so small they'll probably get lost. So instead, I'm going to put them in this tank here. I think they'll go really nicely with the fish that we've got. It's also not too big. I can ensure that they're getting fed, that kind of thing. Yeah, it's a perfect little setup for them. Right, let's put them all in. Go on, guys. Whee! Whee! Different generations there, so we've got all different sizes. We've got really, really tiny ones. And, oh well, they're gone now, anyway. But they'll grow up in no time in there. Oh, there's one. I just see one right in the middle there. Have a nice life. Guess what, guys? Brand new merch drop. Look at that, 3D better. You guys, so many of you are asking me for a better fish hoodie or t-shirt, so I've finally done it. Designed this one. 3D look, isn't it? It looks awesome, nice big, oh, I love it. It turned out great. Like when you do these designs, you always think, well, they look good on the hoodie, and then it arrived and I was like, whoa, even my wife was like, I like that, I like it a lot. So yeah, guys, if you're interested, I'll leave a link above. You can go and have a look at my shop. This one is now available to buy, or you can have a look around, see if there's anything else you like as well. Yeah, help support the channel and help us grow this whole thing even bigger. I've got so much to look forward to this year, so yeah, any support you can give, other than watching the videos already, of course, is greatly appreciated. Back to the video. God, that went really smoothly. I just said that all in one take. Okay, there we go. The tank is all cleaned up. I've ripped the background off as well, purely because I absolutely love the look of this shrimp tank without a background on it. And it's going to be right next to it, so I thought, you know, keep it matching. Now, we don't have a light currently to work with, so I'm going to use my studio light to light the project. But obviously, when it's sat underneath here, it's got this light, which is, it's called a Pled 910. It's like, that's just the width of it. It's like 910 centimeters. But it's just a basic LED light, really. It's just white LEDs, but it gives a plain sort of look, and I really like it. There we go, nice simple studio light, but that's going to give us enough, you know, to do the build. It will probably look brighter under the actual light. I'll probably adjust it as I go along, but it's as close to as what we've got for the finished project as I've actually got sat about. And to be honest, it's quite good because it means I can just like reach in and everything without anything being in the way. So what we've got here is aquasoil. This is what's going to provide the nutrients to all our roots. And what you can do is just put it straight in on top like that. But I like to put it in these little mesh bags. I find that it just keeps everything locked down, and it also allows me to reuse them at a later date as well. So yeah, it's a win-win in my opinion. They're all made of plastic, even the zips, and nothing's going to rust, and we're all good. so that is our nutrients sorted. Don't worry that it doesn't come all the way over every single part. It doesn't matter, the roots will find the nutrients. Now we need to put on our decorative gravel on the top, the thing that's going to cap all of this. But first of all, I just want to scrape that those stones there away from the front, just so it looks a little bit tidier. I'm not worried about the sides at all, but yeah, I want the front back a bit. So the key to these ecosystems is a thick layer, a substrate layer. Now I'm just going to put my finger in just to see how much planting depth we've got. Now at the front here, you know, there's about that much. That's nowhere near enough. So I'm going to have to add in some more there, bring this up a little bit more. At the back we've probably got about enough, but you know, I might as well add a little bit more as well just to make sure. Now, I've only got small fish going in here, and I'm planning on keeping the hardscape minimal as well, so you know, there should be plenty of room. There we go, the substrate system is complete. Now, when you're doing a nanoscape like this, one of the secrets I've found to really good success, you know, for simpletons like me anyway, is to keep the hardscape really, really small. So I've just got this tiny little twiglet. All I'm going to do is just place it in somewhere, you know, like that. And then I've got another smaller one, maybe just, I don't know, like that. And that's it. I'm not going to do any more. It just, you know, a couple of bits of rocks around the base of that, and then leave it. That's enough. Like, before you know it, if you start overcrowding with bits, it just looks terrible. There's no swim room, there's no room for plants. But that's just giving us like a contemporary cool little look. I like that, really like that actually. I've just realised, guys, I've not even shown you what fish is going in this tank at the moment. I've got some really cool ones that I've never kept before. So up here in one of my storage tanks, look at this. These are Axelrod Rasbora. We're not really doing them massive justice at the moment, are we? But this is quite a dark tank, you see, but they're so cool. They've got like a bright neon top to them. They've got this weird little sort of shark fin, but on the bottom end of them, again, not showing up. They're going to look so much better in the actual tank we're creating for them. But yeah, that's them, a nano fish. Very interesting. Look at this behaviour as well. Quite nice schooling for small nano fish as well. But anyway, time to get back on with the build. It's time to start planting. I'm just going random. I just want lots of plants. Yeah. Right, we're looking really good so far. We've got a nice key focal point with that S repens. I want another one in that central position with the fern. We always need a fern, like every sort of scape needs a focal fern, I think anyway. That's just how I like to do it. I mean, obviously you don't have to, but it does really help bring everything together. We're gonna add some more foreground plants as well, but I just want to get this focal point in the middle sorted so then I can build around it. And for that, I'm gonna use Java Fern Windeloff. It's like Java Fern, but with these weird little prongy bits at the end. It just looks really good in small scapes. That's what I've always found anyway. Now in this scape there isn't really a lot to sort of push the Java Fern into, maybe under there, but nothing on the top, so I'm just going to glue them both to like these pieces of rock or pebble, and then that'll just keep them in the right place. I don't have to worry about like sticking it down to the hardscape. It will look a bit odd otherwise. So this tall one I can stick here, and then I can place it at the back. And the shorter one I can place in the foreground in front of it, and that should look really like sort of natural then. See that? If I did it the other way around, it would look silly, but why would you do that? I don't know. Right, that's looking pretty good as far as I can tell so far. It's really hard to see, to be honest, without actually getting the water in there and filling it up. We've got lots of background plants in, so they're the fast growers. The sage is actually a fast grower as well. And then we've got crypts, a pretty slow grower, but they're still going to pull nutrients to grow. But yeah, let's just get it filled up, and then I'll probably be adding more. This whole section here I've deliberately left because I feel like I'm going to put something there. Again, I just want to see it with water first. Now the key here to filling this up without going all murky and horrible is slow, nice and slow. We've only got like a coarse sand slash fine gravel in here, and it's all pretty clean anyway, so we shouldn't get any misting. Fingers crossed anyway. So we're now filled up nicely. We've got bubbles, micro bubbles, look, from the oxygen in the water, and the fact that these plants were out of water. They're just covering everything. That's okay, that'll go in time. Now in the foreground here, we've got some sort of really open areas. I want to add in some slate stones, some little slate stones that are covering moss, and a tiny little bit of pearlweed as well. Just give a nice little pop in that foreground. They grow nicely, and yeah, they won't overtake it as well. So next up, I've got a load of Rotala green, you can see that there, and I've already started actually going around and just sort of plugging it in certain points. So there's a little bit in the foreground there. This just adds a ton of texture to the scape, and also gives it more of a sort of vibrant green pop, because we've already got the darker green, and when you mix up the different sort of shades, it just looks so much better. So I've got loads of little tiny ones that I've trimmed off of other tanks. That's a decent size actually, but then I've got loads of little nuggets as well, like even that tiny bit there. Plant that in the foreground and it'll just continue to grow and look so good. Okay, there we go, we're done planting, but you see what I mean? We've got so much detail going on there, and as more grows sort of taller, move that out of the way. As more grows up taller, we can retrim it and plant it again and just get even more dense, thick coverage. But yeah, that's definitely enough plants. Otherwise, we're going to have so many in there that we're not even going to see the fish. But I like that level. See, we've got that upper swimming area. We've got all the foreground. If I come to the side, you'll actually be able to see the swim room. There we go, look, loads of swim room. And remember, they're only tiny little fish as well, so it's all good. Right, just need to leave it overnight. It should be crystal clear by the morning. Right, it's the next day and everything's cleared up nicely, but I've been a bit silly, haven't I? It's not staying here, so I need to drain it down and move it to where it's actually going. Which is here, of course, not there. Let's move it. Oh, and because I know loads of you are going to ask, this is hooked up to a pump out, you know, runs all the way back near my sink, and I just turn it on from the plug that the pump is plugged into by a Bluetooth sort of button. Turns it on and off. It's got a little thing on the end to stop stuff going in there. It's got a non-return valve as well, which means it's all full of water now and primed, ready to go next time. It just makes everything so much easier for me with all these tanks to sort of do water changes on when they're needed. Now I do actually have a hose connected to my tap that will fill this up really quickly, but I know it'll massively oxygenate the water again and just put bubbles everywhere, so I'm going to do it the old school way with a watering can. So as I was filling that tank up then, I actually added these two products here. It's a tap water conditioner to make sure there's no chlorine, chloramines, heavy metals, that sort of thing in the water column. I also added the quick start, which is beneficial bacteria. Now this is essential in starting up a no filter tank, or any tank in general to be honest, and being able to add fish straight away. So yeah, quite a few people ask me how it's possible to add fish straight away to an aquarium. So quite often you do your research online and you read it takes 3 to 4 weeks to cycle the aquarium without any fish in. You can't put fish in, you need to put bits of ammonia in. I don't do it that way, I do what's called a fish in cycle. Now you can do this when you've got such a small amount of fish, or very small fish that is, and you're able to change water daily. So I'm going to swap out half that water every single day, and I'm also going to test the water, make sure there's no ammonia in there, you know, there's no nitrites or nitrates. There will be some obviously, but very, very trace levels. That's acceptable because you're doing a water change straight away, and that's just going to nullify everything. Now after about 2 weeks, you'll notice that you're not even getting those trace levels anymore. They've never got to levels that will be critical or dangerous to the fish, and everything is all good. But you must be willing to test the water and also do daily water changes if you're going to be able to do this. If not, stick to the standard way, 3-4 weeks of cycling a tank with ammonia and that kind of thing. I don't know enough about that to actually give you advice, but you can look it up online. I always do it this way. I only do it if you can commit though, guys. Daily water changes, that's what's needed. Now because I'm willing to do all the things I just said, as well as adding a bit more of this quick start beneficial bacteria each and every day when I do the water changes, I can put the fish in. Let's do it. Now the whole room, guys, is heated, so the temperature of this water is the same as that water, that. It's all heated to sort of tropical temps, except for the rams, which has a heater inside the filter, and that's a little bit warmer. But you know, normal tropical fish like these, same temperatures. I know I've just poured this one in, but I made sure from the tap it's the right temperature. Anyway, let's do this, guys. Also, there's one other thing we need to place in the tank here that's not in there at the moment that really helps with water quality, and that is floating plants. So all my tanks here, you can see I've got floating plants, the one below it. In fact, all around both studios, I've got loads of duckweed down there. We don't want duckweed though. So I'm going to use some that are already in the sort of temporary tank they're in. They'll work perfectly. Small roots, they'll grow longer. But how it works is, as they grow, they pull nitrates out of the water, and then you move the plants out, and that way you're exporting nitrates, because obviously you don't have a filter to clean, do you? So that is your filter. I've done it so many times before now, and it works really good. Don't worry, that is not ick on the fish. The water's so oxygenated and the plants are purling like crazy as a result. Fish has obviously swum through it and got some attached to it. It happens quite a lot actually when you put fish into a new setup that's just been filled. And no tank is complete in my opinion without adding in snails. Snails are absolutely brilliant. These are ram's horn snails. Many people worry that their tank will be overpopulated, but if you don't overfeed the tank, the population controls itself. They're so good for getting rid of nuisance algae and breaking down waste at the bottom of the tank. If you haven't got any, I'll recommend that you do get some.